Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WagerTalk TV. This is the KBO betting show. My name is Andrew McInnis, joined by Dave Cokin here. It is Tuesday. We're talking about games for early Wednesday morning, especially if you're on the East Coast. Dave, how was your morning this morning here in the KBO betting?
Not good. The last 2 days have been rough. I had a lot of good opinions, but I played the wrong games. And got to get it back in gear today.
I feel the same way. I mean, I tweeted it out, and I think you retweeted it as well. I said we had a solid show yesterday, but as far as my selections I went with, especially the stronger plays, didn't work out too well. But this is week 3 of the KBO betting show. We appreciate you guys all tuning in, and some matchups again here today that we're looking to take advantage of. Second day of the series, so we'll get things started right away. We have the Kia Tigers and KT Wiz going head to head here. KT, first of all, I'll just start off by saying that there's a guy in this matchup that I told you and I talked about on the show that I've been planning on really backing, and I'm pretty sure tonight I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Let me just refresh. It's Aaron Brooks. I think that we look at his last outing in 6.5 innings pitched, 2.7 ERA. He allowed a decent amount of hits, but it seems like he's able to get the job done and get the strikeouts when needed. And right now, Dave, we're seeing a 58% winning percentage when we're seeing an American-born pitcher taking on a Korean-born pitcher. And I'm going to continue to try and take advantage of that. And it's going to be on the run line. It's not going to be on the money line. And we're going to try and cash in with that. So, looking at this, I think we should all be backing them. But KT's offense is struggling right now. And they're a very up and down team. They're a team that you can't really count on. However, Kia continues to struggle on the road. So, at the same time, if we're going to see them right now have a good game, hopefully Brooks can lock it down for them, hold things down from the pitching perspective, and they can get a few hits there. I'm going to look to isolate the first 5 innings if I see a good number. But I like this full game here for them to keep it going and get the job done.
Noticed in Freddie Mills' feed that there was an injury to the Kia second baseman last night. He's their leading hitter, and looks like he's not going to be playing. He's getting an MRI on the hamstring, so that sounds like a DL stint, and that further compromises an offense that hasn't been very good on the road anyway. So problems for the Kia side there. That's what's holding me back here is they've been a bad road team. Yeah. And I can't lay a price with Brooks, even though he's clearly the better pitcher in this matchup. Kim is on the mound for the Wiz. He has not been good. 23 innings, more than a hit per inning, 20 earned runs, a lot of walks. The walk-to-strikeout ratio is not good. His FIP is almost 7, which is pretty unseemly. And he gave up 8 runs in his last start. So the pitching matchup is overwhelmingly on the Tigers side. I just don't trust him on the road. But I certainly can't disagree with Kia being the only side to look at here.
Absolutely. And I like to mention team totals every now and then. Under 4.5 to me is going to be the look on the team total side for the KT Wiz until they get it right back together.
And one note, however, and this should be pointed out, this might have something to do with the injury to the Kia second baseman. This line has dropped considerably. So there's some money, and I would say it's not public money, let's put it that way. Opening line at circa 190, now down to 155. Pinnacle 184 down to 156. It's sitting 151 right now at the Superbook. So there is some play on the underdog in this game. Bear that in mind.
Dave, we're seeing a decent amount of movement in plenty of games today since the opening line. I've seen quite a few movements in different directions on both sides.
Yeah, well, one of the games that's not really moving is the Eagles-Giants, which is the next game that we'll talk about. And this one's pretty much sitting where it's gone up a little bit, 65 to 85 at Circa. It's sitting at 76 at Superbook, and it's going from 82 to 86 at Pinnacle. It's sitting at 75 at 5 Dimes. So not a lot of movement. You would expect the movement to be against the Eagles, who've now lost, 15 straight? Yep. And all of them, by more than 1 run. So, I certainly am not going to talk against the Giants' runs line here. The pitching matchup, actually pretty even between Kim and No. Neither one of them profiles as a very good starter. You're probably going to see some bullpen guys here. However, should be pointed out that this is the second matchup for these two against these teams, and they both had really good games against the opponent in the previous outing. Kim, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts against the Giants earlier. And for No, he had 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. So if you want to look at the under, I guess that would make some sense based on that. And the fact that neither one of these offenses is any good. They're the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. But I got to say, I was pretty disappointed in Sopal's performance yesterday, Dave. I think it was 7 earned runs, 13 hits for him. He's supposed to be a guy I can at least count on for Hanwha. I had the first 5 under in this one, and Hanwha didn't score 1. And I think it was close to 6 or 7 for Lotte. So I mean, it's tough to grab an under when you got a team right now that's not scoring, but their pitching isn't looking good either. So I don't think we can only blame the batters right now by any means with this Hanwha team. And we can talk about how the fact that they sent down so many guys. We can talk about how their coaching staff, we've seen some stuff going on, but I don't want to sit here on this show on a daily basis and just completely crap on the bats, because after what I saw this morning, I'm not too impressed with the amount of guys that are easily getting on base.
They're just a bad team. I mean, they're as ugly a professional team as I've ever seen. I mean, the numbers are staggering. 7-24, 15 losses in a row. They've been outscored by 96 runs. It's easy to see why even their best pitchers are getting discouraged. They feel like they have to go out there and be perfect. Mm-hmm. And that's not the mindset you want to be carrying into a game. So the Eagles remain a straight play against. You can just do it on an everyday basis, and you're probably going to make money, even at the big prices.
Yeah, Dave, I've never seen anything like this in my whole entire life so far. A team that you can fade. I mean, when it comes to hockey, I can think about the Detroit Red Wings. When I think about NBA, I can think about the Philadelphia 76ers in those days when they were pretty rough. But I haven't seen anything like this ever. And I wake up and I start to analyze the plays for the next day, and I sometimes I find myself really trying to be almost too sharp, Dave. Trying to think of angles why not to fade a bad team. But at this point right now, I'm going to develop some theories and just kind of stick with it, because like you said, if you are betting solely against the bottom 3 teams in this league right now, you're absolutely killing it. The public is not having a difficult time betting the KBO, by any means. So we'll move forwards here. But yeah, I can't argue with the under. What do you say the price was that you're seeing, Dave, on Lotte and the run line? I'm seeing around like minus 105, 110.
Let's see. On the runs line, I'm seeing Giants spot even money.
What even money?
That's at Superbook where you'll get the best numbers, actually. So probably going to be minus 105, minus 110 elsewhere.
Okay. All right. And shout out to everybody in the chat box real quick. We have Will, Melissa, John, Brandon, Mike, Jose. Great to see everybody tuning in. We're up to about 75 live viewers on this show. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Both Dave and I off losing mornings, but the show was pretty good yesterday. So the discussion has been great, and giving out some good picks on here at least. So good to see that. We have someone commenting, asking if we have any superstitions when watching a bet.
No.
I watched the game. I want to make a little quick point here, Dave, if I may. I'm a sports fan first. I enjoy watching sports. That might be a blanket statement for a lot of people, but there's definitely some handicappers out there that maybe don't enjoy certain sports, or they didn't grow up, playing sports or watching sports or whatever. And I'm not saying you had to have played the sport or been good at it, but I want to make it very clear. If I'm watching a game, I'm watching it because I also enjoy it. Obviously, just like anybody else, any other sports better, you can get excited, you can get this or that, you can get down. But when it comes down, I'm watching a game, and obviously I'm cheering on my team that I'm betting on. If you ask me right now, Dave, who my favorite team in the KBO is, I would tell you it's the team I'm betting on that morning, because I have no attachment to this league. So I'm just a fan of the game.
I don't really have any attachments to any team in any sport anymore. Maybe the Red Sox. That's about it.
Okay.
When it's a business, you're rooting against your team sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I enjoy the games. I mean, I watch exhibition baseball because I like baseball. On the other hand, I almost never watch the NBA because, quite frankly, I just don't like it. I'm not knocking it. It's just not my game, and I never watch soccer. You can't, even if there's nothing else on, I don't watch soccer. I don't enjoy the sport. So, liking it has a lot to do with it. But as far as the betting goes, that has nothing to do with it.
Definitely. Speaking of sports, I just want to shout it out real quick. We've got some golf coming up in the next several weeks. I know you have plays up. I have plays up now, 3 plays for myself in this weekend's tournament. I know you had a show with Jared Smith, Nick, quite a good panel you had there this afternoon. So if anybody missed that show, check it out on WagerTalk TV. They're checking out their golf wagers, giving out some free picks and advertising their packages. UFC has been great. They just announced Fight Island. We've got NBA set to come back, NHL set to come back. We see some players on the ice training. So the future's looking pretty good, Dave. But as for now, we're going to stay focused here and get right back to some KBO action because, like we said and we promised, you and I are going to continue to do it for the rest of the season, whether it's this show or not. Our clients will be getting some plays. So Kiwoom Heroes, Samsung Lions, another opportunity here, Dave. Sorry?
I said the Joker.
Oh, the Joker, yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Another opportunity where it's that 58% number where it's, an import player taking on a Korean-born player, a pitcher. Well, and this is just – Dave, look at the ERAs, first of all, without even looking at advanced stats here. Look at the numbers comparing these two guys. And then we check out the Samsung Lions, a team that I thought would do pretty well. I had them first 5 innings on the money line this morning. Not really performing, not taking advantage of opportunities they had at hand with runners in scoring position or with guys on base, whatever. They weren't performing, and I think Kiwoom was going to continue to keep things rolling. I like the spot again here, and we keep on talking about the prices that we can possibly get. This is a price where you're going to have to lay it. I think it's only going to grow as the day goes on. Jokic has been unreal. I'll let you kind of dive into it, but I'm not going to think twice about this. I think he'll get the job done. I even debated going with the under in this one as well, thinking that he'll get a rock-solid outing from himself.
Well, Jokic is arguably he's the second-best pitcher in the league so far. His numbers are outstanding. 36 in the third innings, 29 hits, only 5 walks, less than a base runner per inning, 30-5 strikeout to walk ratio. These are really good numbers. 1.50 is the ERA, 5-0 record. All 6 of the starts would qualify as quality starts. FIP is 2.42, so it's not like he's getting really lucky or anything like that. He's been that good. He dominated Samsung in an earlier performance, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, which was unearned, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Yeah, it's tough to make a case for the Lions here. Beck's on the mound. His first start off the DL was an epic disaster. We'll chalk that up to maybe a little bit of rust. He's not that bad, but the numbers they're not very good. Kiwoom has the much better offense. The Lions don't score much. It's a huge price, obviously. Open 250, it's still sitting there at most locations in that range. Money line, about $1.50 now. It's going up a little bit. I can't argue against Heroes on the runs line. This should, on paper, it's an easy win for the Heroes. The Lions are just not a good offensive team, and you've seen that in the last few days. They've had opportunities to put some big innings together and just can't get a hit when it matters. So Heroes are nobody here. I can't see making a case for the underdog.
Yeah, if you look back at the start of the season, Samsung was actually involved in quite a few high-scoring games, and a couple of them were actually not them doing the scoring. It was the opposition. Right. And now they're really slowing things down and being involved in plenty more low-scoring games, and I think this one could be a low-scoring game as well. However, the pitching mismatch obviously doesn't favor them. I'm going to continue to support this pitcher and the Joker, and I think his record could only continue to grow. And the funny thing is, though, is that with whether it's who he's playing or the pitching matchup he's going up against, I feel like he's been pretty lucky with who he's faced on the opposite end of the mound. Not that really matters because he's been playing pretty well, but this definitely helps him a little bit seeing who else is pitching on the other side.
Well, yeah, it always helps when you've got a big pitching edge, but his numbers have been so good that it really doesn't matter who he's going up against. If there's a good performance on the other side, it's an under. And if it's not, then it's probably an easy Heroes win. You've
got Kelly McMillan in the chat box here. Mike Black looking for UFC picks, this is not the show, but WagerTalk does shows for that as well. Robert says, I enjoy any sport I can make money on. Can't argue with that, Robert. No. Can't argue with that. Guys, just a quick shout out here to our packages. $2.99 for both Dave and myself. If you want to get our premium selections in the KBO, all of our finalized cards, or for both of us, $499 for combining all of our plays together. Email support@wagertalk.com. They'll hook you up. They'll set you up. The customer service team is outstanding with WagerTalk, and they'll take care of you. So $2.99 for one of us, or $4.99 for the both of us. I think you know where to go with that. Dave and I are both putting the work in and grinding it out each day, trying to come up with some great picks for you. So I'd recommend grabbing that. But also continue to support the show. Leave a like button. Our viewership is only continuing to grow. However, we only got about 70 or 75 yesterday. So let's try and surpass that, get that up well over 100, and show us some love on these videos. We've been really enjoying doing it. Doosan Bears, NC Dinos. This one was interesting, Dave. I mean, I had the over here, and of course it was a 2% play that I gave out at WagerTalk and not one of my higher rated ones. But this is one here where I'm going to continue probably all season long taking the team total over for NC. I mean, this is, if I could give, constant team total wagers on this show, because I know that everyone might not be able to bet them, that's what I'd be doing, because it's either circling under spots or circling over spots. And we're seeing a lower number here for obvious reasons, but we're seeing a 5.5 now in NC. And given the past several games that we've seen out of this NC team, no matter who the pitcher has been on the opposite side, no matter who the team has been on the opposite side, whether it's been a close game or a blowout, they've been putting up runs. And looking at what Doosan was able to do, putting up 8 runs, and then NC says, I don't care what you do. Anything you can do, I can do better. And they put up 12 runs themselves. It's just something that I have to take advantage of and continue to pull trigger on. However, I wanted to point out, Rucinski actually hasn't played a tough amount of teams. I mean, he's been helped out by his team putting up a good amount of runs. He's played Hanwha, Samsung, and SK during his run. And I'm going to go ahead once again here and grab the over for consecutive games with NC and Doosan at a lower price, lower number of 10.5. You can't argue with NC with Rucinski on the mound. We're seeing a lot of solid pitchers here, Dave, tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'm clearly favoring a lot of these solid guys. But for right now, their records are indicating that there's no reason I should be fading them.
No, I mean, Rucinski's got 4 straight quality starts. And it doesn't matter who you're pitching against. I mean, you're either throwing the ball well or you're not. And he's doing a good job. 4-0, 2.13. FIP is about a run higher than that. So he's had a little bit of good fortune, but not a staggering amount. He'll give up hits, but he doesn't give up a lot of hard hits. And control's been okay. There's not much not to like on him. Now, Alcantara's an interesting story, because you look at the 5-1 record, and 5 straight wins, by the way. And you say, well, that's not a guy you want to go against. He's been getting fortunate in that his offense has been providing him with a tremendous amount of run support. His numbers aren't that good. 35 innings, 43 hits, 18 earned runs. Walks to strikeouts is pretty good, 9-31. But he's a guy who gives up contact, and sometimes it's hard contact. FIP is over 4. So he's been good, but certainly not great, and not as great as the 5-1 record would indicate. The Bears are also still shorthanded. Third baseman's on the DL, second baseman's out. They keep on putting up runs, and the bet with the Bears has been over in their road games. 16 road games, they've only gone under the total twice in those 16 road games, which indicates 2 things. 1, they've got a good offense, and 2, their pitching stinks, and particularly their bullpen, which has been an issue all season long, and it was again last night. The offense got them back in the game this morning, and then the bullpen said, "No, we don't really want to keep this that close," and they got shellacked. And
you see that happen a lot, Dave, where the Doosan Bears are doing all right, and all of a sudden they're giving up games. And same thing with NC; they play a full 9 innings. They're not just early game type of team or late game type of team. They play a full 9. And we've seen them either win games in the bottom half of the game, or just put up runs early on.
That's what happens when you're 24-6.
Yeah.
Everything's going right. They've won 6 in a row. They're a machine right now. The confidence level of the team's extraordinarily high. You're going to have to pay a price here with the NC. It's going up to 180, 190. I'm seeing a 200 out there. So this is going up about 20 cents, and that's not surprising. I'm not going to try and get in their way. That's for sure. I mean, you can point out certain things in the Bears that make them playable here, but the Dinos are just on a rampage right now. And until this team shows some signs of cooling off, either back them or leave them alone.
Definitely. I don't really know why anyone will be fading them right now. That's for sure. Somebody asked about a 2-teamer. I'm not going to be on here recommending too many, but possibly a Dinos and Kiwoom 2-teamer if you're interested.
I would go, if you're going to go that route, I'd go 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, and just line up the big truck. You can still you can play. Let's see. You could take Heroes, Dinos, and Twins, and you'd probably be looking at I'm just doing the quick math in my head, about plus 200 or thereabouts, maybe a little more. I mean, if you're going to go 2, you may as well go 3 with big truck. If you're going the big truck route, that seems to be the only way to go with parlays, because dogs not the most reliable in this league. Again, that points to the separation between the haves and the have-nots in KBO.
Another thing that Freddie Mills has been pointing out, if you look at the standings right now in the KBO, 1 through about, we'll call it 5 or 6, right when you get there, the drop-off from 1 to 5 and then from 6 to 10 is extraordinary. It's completely
because the bottom teams are really flawed. The Wiz can't pitch. They've got a fun team to watch, exciting offense, but they can't pitch. And the Eagles can't do anything. The Giants, despite the fact I think they're lousy, they're at 500, but they're still a weak team. I don't think you'll see them do well against the better teams in the league. They're feasting on the weaker competition like the Eagles. So they're 500 despite the fact they've got a lot of weaknesses, particularly on offense. The pitching isn't bad. Samsung's just not much of a team. They're below average offensively, and I would say only average as far as the pitching goes. And the Wyverns probably fall in that category as well. And then you look at the rest of the league, and there's some power there. Although the Bears still look to me like maybe a little bit phony. Just the pitching on the Bears is weak enough so that if their offense ebbs at any point, they're going to have trouble winning games.
I have the Twins above the Bears right now.
So do I.
And that game against SK, I want to point out, SK is 7 of their last 10 they've won.
They're playing better.
So they're playing better, and they also had a bad start. So I'm interested to see what they look like over the next few weeks because, like I've been saying to the viewers, this league is a very long league. It's it's just like any other baseball season, and what we've seen over the first 2.5 weeks of the season isn't going to reflect what we're going to see over the next 3 to 4 weeks right now. And Dave's pointed that out with Lotte countless times about the start that they had and now the kind of baseball that we're seeing them play. I also want to shout out something else that we saw here, Dave. Bears have 24 home runs in 16 road games, but 6 in 14 home games. I mean, they are uncomfortable playing at home.
And something that I think it's really important as far as tonight's game goes, Ramos was pinch hit for yesterday. That was a close game, so it wasn't some blowout situation. So something is amiss with Roberto Ramos, or Bobby Ramos, I guess he's being called now. And that would be an enormous hit to their offense. So follow around on Twitter to get an update, but I have a feeling that might be a game-time decision. And I would not be laying a big price with the Twins and if he's not in the lineup. That is a big lineup changer. The pitching matchup here looks fairly close. Look at the line on this game, by the way, which indicates how much Ramos means. I mean, this line has really dropped. It opened 160 and Circuit's down to 150, but it's more spectacular at some other locations. 5 Dimes open at 170. It's down to 150. Penny 188 down to 149. It's only 141 at the Superbook. So there's money on the dog here, and I think that is definitely predicated on the possibility that Ramos is not going to be playing in this game. The pitching matchup is not much to choose from. If you look at the ERAs it's a blowout because Kim's ERA is almost 5, and Lee's ERA for LG is very low, and he's pitched well since going into the rotation. But it's small sample stuff, so I don't know how much you draw into that. But it's a game where certainly the possibility that Ramos might not play could have a real big impact on this game, and I would hesitate before playing that game. If you want to gamble that he's in the lineup and take what you think is a good price, well, it is a good price if he's in the lineup. But if he's not, it changes the dynamic for the Twins considerably. And the Wyverns did get the win yesterday, and the Twins did not hit, and the Twins maybe not hitting quite as much lately.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that Twins game, I said it on the show with you, and I was gonna say it again. Pretty much is that I like their matchup here, just pitching wise. I like Lee Min-ho. He's an 18-year-old that I'm gonna continue to back through 7 innings. Only give up 5 hits against Samsung. Now, it's another team that's not great. They're in 8th place. SK. They've been scoring some runs, but the guy on the other side, nothing too great. Kim Tae-hoon. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I like LG. And I've got Lawrence Presman, the Prez, in the house, checking out the show. Thanks for checking it out, Prez. He says, "Why not? Why stop at 2? May as well go to 10."
I play all the sides and all the totals. There you go. It's easy, right?
Well, here, I'll give something right now. I think LG. We'll go LG money line. I'll go over in Doosan NC. I'll go Kiwoom run line. Fade Hanwha, of course, and you got to go with Brooks on the mound for Kia. There we go. And we got Daniel in here. Gotta love the guys giving us stats here in the chat box. Daniel says he read somewhere 21-4 the last 6 days.
Sounds about right.
Favorites.
Because you've got over the last 6 days, the favorites 6-0 in the Eagles games. So you go from there. The rest of them are doing okay. Big prices. I'm only playing 1 game tonight. I've had 2 bad days in a row in KBO. And it doesn't matter what sport it is. If I have a couple of bad days in a row, my immediate reaction is to cut back and find just 1 play that I can sink my teeth into. I'm not going to go for any more than 1 game. That's my best bet that's up at WagerTalk.com right now. I do think it's clearly the best bet on the board tonight, and I'll be really happy to just get the 1. So no parlays from me.
No parlays. Okay. And once again, if you want every single one of Dave's selections for the KBO, especially if he only has a package up with just 1 play and he has numerous for his all access, check him out on his profile page. Get all of his plays for $299. Save yourself $100. Get it now and cash in with myself and Dave Cokin throughout the entire remainder of the KBO season. The future is bright for the world of sports. NBA is coming back. NHL is coming back. We got golf this weekend.
And I think this. I have a feeling that Major League Baseball. I think we're getting close to an agreement.
Okay.
Because we're starting to see some actual negotiation take place. So hopefully they can get that ironed out. I love the idea of them having a short season that ends at the end of October. It'll be done. Postseason will be done by the end of October. I don't want to watch baseball in 20-degree weather. There is nothing worse. And I'm a baseball fan, but baseball in the winter sucks. There's a reason it's played in the summer. So I'm hoping they iron things out, play between 50 and 75 games, somewhere in there, get to the postseason. It'll be exciting, and Prez and myself can get first pitch cranked up, and I understand you'll be joining us on a frequent basis if and when Major League Baseball gets going, Andrew. That'll be a big plus for the show.
Definitely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well, and getting on more programs and hopping on some baseball talk. So the fact that you and I are going to both be doing KBO and MLB, we might not be doing a show. We're still going to be doing KBO as well, but we got to give the people what they want, and we know that if it's a choice between KBO and the majors, we're not thinking twice about
listen, I can tell you this: I've been watching. I actually did not watch the games. I watched some of the Dinos game last night, but I can tell you this: if baseball starts again, I'll still be tracking KBO as much as ever, but I won't be watching the games because you got to sleep sometime. And 2:30 in the morning, I'll be fast asleep and waiting for the next day's slate of Major League Baseball. But I'm committed to doing KBO for the entire season. I think there's money to be made in the league. You don't have to watch a sport to make money in it.
Yeah, I've just been running out of coffee, Dave. I mean, my games are at 6:30 a.m. in the KBO, so
I can't do coffee.
It's been nice for me going from just going to the or working out, I guess, and then just watching movies and TV. At least now I have a routine. Get up early in the morning. Then after the games are over, kind of get started on handicapping the next day of games. So it's been good, and we'll keep moving forwards. It is Tuesday, June 9th. We'll see you tomorrow for episode at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Last word there from you, Dave.
Yeah, don't forget to catch the golf show. We've got a really in-depth preview. It's called Tea Time, I believe. I think that's what it is.
I think so.
And we did a really good breakdown on this week's Colonial as the PGA returns to action. It's on WagerTalk TV. And some good opinions on there, hopefully my own. And I know the other guys have done their work. So check it out. There's some money to be made in matchups this week in the Colonial.
All right. Thanks to Jose, Arjun, Daniel, Robert, everyone for joining us here on today's episode. I'm really appreciating the comments. Leave a like, drop a comment on who you're betting tonight. Don't just trust our opinions. Let us know who you are betting, and hopefully we helped you formulate your opinion as well. We'll see you once again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, right here on WagerTalk TV. This is the KBO Betting Show. Myself and Dave Cokin.
So long. All right, I got some